Hey, it is Andrea, aka Chocolate Dimples. I'm in the house today. Just finished a therapy session. I said for me, this is the beginning, and it's about me maintaining. You know, you don't make it in this life by yourself. It's not happening. It's not happening. This was the first time with me speaking with, well, not the first time. This is the first official meeting with this particular therapist. I really was excited to find a person of color, a black person to be more specific, and who could really understand where I'm coming from. Because I've had, not afraid of therapy. I just know that sometimes there's a cultural element that you don't learn in a book. And so we had our official first session. And man, oh man. I heard today from someone about someone that had a very interesting opinion of me. They saw me as being someone that was selfish and, just a lot of things that are not me. Mm-mm. See, what I've been talking about, this journey to wholeness, it has been me coming to find out who I am. That's it. See, I spent so much of my life in this kind of a bubble, not really, just kind of floating. At least that's what it felt like. However, after speaking with my new therapist, that has not been the case. See, this year, like I said, I launched thechocolateDimples.com, which is a party supply. It's the beginning of my party supply business that focuses on African American imagery, representation, because that's important, and we know that, and now it's time to add my part in that. And I also am finished up the illustrations to my first children's book. Not the first one I've written, but the first one that I've actually that's almost done, which is called A Giraffe for the Day. I wrote for my little girl. And I'm saying all this to say it's taken me a long time to get to this place in life where I stopped running from myself. It's funny that I was a runner. In the heart of me, I am a runner. And my ability to run took me to some very fun places and gave me some great experiences. And while I was running on the track, internally I was running from myself. And I've done that for a long time. And I finally stopped running. And when I stopped running, I took a breath and then took a look at myself. See, I have been afraid of my gifts, terrified of them, because they came with such weightiness and such responsibility and almost a burden in a way. I talked to my therapist today, and he's made a comment. He said, "You've always been that girl." And I'm like, that girl? I was always that girl. I didn't understand that being that girl and what that meant. I have always been that girl. Not necessarily the most popular person. No, I wasn't that. I wasn't unpopular, but I wasn't part of the it crowd. But I was always that girl. I've stood out my whole life. And I was so afraid of that space, because when you stand out, everybody's looking at you. And see, it's been crazy, because I thought all this time that my family was kind of, against me in ways, and they weren't. They also knew I was that girl. They didn't know always how to explain that and say that, but they have been waiting for me to show up. They've been waiting for me to come back and be who I always was. See, it's been crazy that people have seen me and I couldn't see myself. It was sad and so hurtful and then eye-opening that someone accused me of being jealous, not being just, being selfish and bragging about what I have just recently started accomplishing. And it's funny because the individual who said it had no clue how terrifying it has been for me to be me, to be unafraid, to be me, to be willing to step into the spotlight where I'm going to be criticized and critiqued for everything that I do. But I have to be strong enough and confident enough in myself and who I am to take the daggers that have always been coming towards me. But see, I thought those daggers were meant to hurt me and they were meant to build me. Because I was that girl. Placed in my hand was the responsibility to come back with the knowledge, with the information that my family needed. God made me that girl. He knew I had the shoulder strong enough. He built me the way he did. He gave me this athletic build because he made me strong. I'm not selfish. But it is selfish of me to not become and embrace that girl that he made me. Unapologetically. I'll give anyone my last. I'll give you the shirt off my back. I will ride with you. I will believe in you. I will pour into you. Now I know that all that I pour into others, I have to also pour into myself. Because I'm that girl. God made me that girl. And it's time to stop being afraid of being that girl. Because there are people out there who need this girl to be that girl. And I hear you. I've been hearing you my whole life calling and waiting for me. And I've been afraid. And I apologize to my family for not being that girl. For not taking that responsibility seriously. I heard you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your criticism. Your critiques. Your support. And your love. I'm not afraid anymore to be that girl. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not afraid anymore.